Hi guys, welcome to Mother Moon Tarot. This is going to be the Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus reading for the month of April. A few things just before we get into the reading, Aquarius. We are on the 20th of March, coming into we're coming into the Aries season. So Pisces season is finishing up and Aries season is coming into play. So Pisces season was a lot of watery, kind of having to go with the flow energy, with Mercury being retrograde as well. There's a lot of setbacks, a lot of having to wait for things possibly going wrong, not happening in the way that you wanted to or in the time frame that you wanted to. A lot of waiting around. You could have had issues and problems with communication, with technology, with waiting on hearing final decisions about things. So a lot of just kind of having to wait. So Mercury goes direct again on the 27th or the 28th of April, or sorry, 27th or the 28th. I think it's the 28th actually. Don't quote me on that. But it goes direct on either the 27th or the 28th of March, which means that all that energy is starting to dissipate. Now, time is energy and energy is fluid. So, it can start, linger around for like 1 to 2 weeks afterwards. But, that resonates differently for different people. So coming out of Pisces season into Aries season, and Mercury retrograde is going direct, which is, thank God, because honest to God, it's been kicking my ass. I had so many issues with like technology, my videos not being uploaded properly, my phone going wrong, just lots of things, communication, blockages, just things just being set back and held back and having to wait a lot. So yeah, I had a lot of problems with that. It affects everyone differently, but yeah, there we go. Thankfully it's moving out. Anyway, so yeah, we're moving into Aries season, which is really good because Pisces is all about that kind of watery going with the flow energy. Aries season then is very much it's a very headstrong kind of attitude and sign. So it's very, I know what I want. I know what I want to get to. I'm going this direction and I'm going to do it now. So it's very headstrong energy. So you might be feeling like, you want to kind of push forward with things. So actually that came out in the meditation that I did for you before I came on camera. So I always meditate on the cards before I come do your reading. What came out for you was the numbers 3 and 7. So depending on how that resonates, now not all messages are going to resonate for everybody. This is a collective reading. So, whatever resonates for you, take it with you. If it doesn't resonate for you, then chuck it out. That's fine. Another reading might resonate for you, or you might resonate with something more in your moon or rising sign readings. So check those out as well. So 3 and 7 came up for you. If that resonates, then please have a little look, check it out online to see what those meanings have for you. There's so much information online that you can read up on, the numerology and the meaning of those two numbers. So check that out if you feel inclined to. The other bits of information that I got for you was there's in April there's a realizing of a truth here for you. So something is going to come in, some clarity is going to come to you, or you're going to suddenly realize something that maybe you hadn't realized before, or you might kind of just come to a decision of, oh, actually, hang on, yeah, I do want that, or I do feel like that, or I do that thing that I didn't think I wanted, I actually do want, or something along those lines. So there's some sort of truth or clarity kind of coming in. And you're moving out of almost like a darker kind of period that you may have been in, or a darker way of thinking, and you're suddenly kind of almost like seeing the light of things. And that clarity is kind of coming in. It's like crystal clear vision, where you may have felt a little bit murky before and a bit hazy. Things are almost kind of coming into kind of clarity, and you're just like, oh right, okay, yeah. And then there's almost like a push forward to kind of move quickly, because you feel like you've kind of almost like being taken a back seat, and now you suddenly realize and you want to kind of just push forward really quickly and move forward with that, and you find energy. So that's what I got for you. Take it how it resonates. Like I said, it's not going to resonate for everyone, but if it does, use it. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's have a little look. So what does Aquarius need to know for April? What does Aquarius need to know for April? As I say that, the Knight of Swords. Okay, I'll get into this. I'll explain it a little bit more in a moment once I've got all the cards out. So What does Aquarius need to know for April, please? What does Aquarius need to know for April? Okay. What does Aquarius need to know for April, please? What does Aquarius need to know for April? What does Aquarius need to know for April? I'm almost getting the energy that I'm getting off these cards is that they just want to talk. They just want to move forward. It's that rush energy that I felt, and so yeah, I'm definitely feeling that in your reading. Okay, what does Aquarius need to know for? Yeah, you've got cards popping out all over the place. Okay, we need one more card. What does Aquarius need to know for April? What does Aquarius need to know for April? What does Aquarius need to know for April, please? What does Aquarius need to know for April? What does Aquarius need to know for April? Okay, one more card. And there we have it. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment to kind of have a little look at the cards. As always, you don't have to wait for me. You can skip straight ahead to the start of the reading if you want. I just want to take a few minutes to kind of put the messages together for you so I get the right messages across to you. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. So the underlying energies that you have at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Wands. So I definitely feel like whatever this realization is for you this month, it's got to do with some sort of, it's got to do with some sort of life path or the path that you're supposed to be on. The 1-1-1, so you can see the pillars here is it's like 1-1-1-1, so 11-11. 11-11 is the correct life path number, or you know the life path that you're supposed to be on. So if you see a lot of 11-11 around, if you're seeing, you know, 1-1, or multiplications of that, you know, 11, 22, 33, you know, those are all signs and signals to do with your the 11-11 or the path that you're supposed to be on. Now I do see that this is actually in the reverse. So this card usually in the upright position is to do with like celebration and being on the right life path, and that kind of almost like that celebration of home and family, almost like you kind of find your feet with things, and or you find that kind of that home environment that you want. I do feel like though with this being in the reverse, there's almost like that's going to happen for you, but there's a delay. Now, like I said, Mercury retrograde is still in play here towards the at the end of March and coming into April. It does go direct on the 28th of March, but it can that energy can linger for a couple of weeks. So like I said, this could be still affecting, you know, what's going on for you. So I do feel like maybe this has to do with that Mercury retrograde energy. It's like you suddenly realize what the path that you're supposed to be on, or that, you know, this home environment or this person here that you can see there's two people, that this person here is the right person for you, but there's a delay in that kind of celebration or that harmony kind of coming into play for you. So don't despair. You know, it obviously is there for you. You just gotta, you know, once you realize it, you just gotta just wait for that kind of divine timing to kind of come into play. Okay, so the first card you had came out here. I was talking about that rush and wanting to kind of speed ahead energy. The Knight of Swords is all about that. So the Knight of Swords is probably the fastest knight in the deck. Well, he is. And he is rushing forward with this kind of clarity or with this kind of movement. You know, he doesn't get the message from the king or the queen or, you know, the person, and then, you know, kind of move forward at a steady pace towards that person to deliver the message. No, this guy jumps on his horse and he rushes to deliver that message as fast as he can. When, you know, that's not always necessarily a good thing, because, you know, you can kind of be a little bit clumsy if you're rushing ahead too fast. Nevertheless, this is coming up as your first card, so I do feel like that like I said, that kind of information that was coming up in the meditation before I started here for you, to do with rushing, wanting to kind of finding that clarity and wanting to rush straight in with this information or this message. Usually, like I said, knights are delivering a message to someone. So this may be you wanting to communicate with someone after realizing something very quickly. So wanting to get this message across to them as fast as you can, or try and get this message across as fast as you can. This could also pertain to your own energy. So this could be you suddenly realizing, or you suddenly kind of, your brain suddenly rushing in with this kind of clarity of information, or this clarity or this new kind of piece of information, and you suddenly realizing quickly, oh yeah, okay, I do want this, or I do want that, or I do want to push forward with this idea, or maybe I do want that kind of lifestyle, or maybe I do want that person, so it could be within your own kind of internal thoughts as well. The second card you had then was the Ace of Swords in reverse. So the Ace of Swords, swords are all to do with your thought process and your logic, and aces are the start of the deck, so from ace to 10. So this is the start of it's almost like the start of a new cycle. However, it is in the reverse. So it's almost like, so it's to do with thoughts and logic. So you may have this sudden realization. You can see it's to do with thoughts as well. Swords are there, or information, like I said, a message. So you may have this new information or this new clarity, and you maybe want to rush forward with this information, or it might suddenly come to you quickly. But this Ace of Swords is still in reverse, so there might still be a delay with trying to get this information across, or coming to this realization, or almost kind of trying to turn. It's almost like you're almost like flipping your thought and your logic from one side to the other. So where you thought one thing, you might kind of turn it all around really quickly, and then suddenly it locks into place. And you have this kind of almost epiphany kind of moment where you realize something. However, I do feel like with that Mercury retrograde energy still lingering a little bit, that clarity. So usually if it was in the upright, I would say that's definitely what's happening. However, because it is in the reverse, I feel like there might be a delay in that clarity coming to you. And that's why then you feel like you suddenly have to rush in with this information, because you're almost feeling like it's too late, or like you've missed the game, or you've missed the bus, to try and get that message across to that person. Or that you kind of been late to the game in terms of having that clarity for yourself in your internal thinking. I definitely feel like that's got to do with this card here, this life path, or this kind of like happy home environment, or this kind of, that celebration of having that correct life path and having that wholeness in your life. I definitely feel like there's a connection with that. So there's just a delay on that, okay? And like I said, this was in the reverse as well. So again, delays. Definitely feeling that Mercury retrograde is kind of still playing around with your energy a little bit. Then you had the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So the Knight of Pentacles, again, Knights are about messages, or new messages coming in, or new things coming into play, or something being delivered to you. Pentacles are all to do with about like the tangible things in life. So your bare necessities, or your base kind of things. So things to do with family, friends, finances, coins, careers, jobs, anything to do with that. So again, I do feel like if you, for example, have been waiting to hear news on finances, or waiting to hear on maybe a promotion, or maybe waiting to hear on a new job prospect or a new career for yourself, or if you've been waiting to hear on like an interview that you might be asked to come to, I definitely feel like this has got to do with career for you. Actually, no, do you know what? I'm actually feeling like this is to do with either career. For some of you, it's career. For some of you, it is a relationship. But it's a relationship it's not a relationship that you're in at the moment. It's a relationship that could come into play, or that is imminent almost, or has the potential to be a relationship. So I do feel like there's either career or a relationship. For some of you, it's both. And I feel like there's a delay in this. This is in the reverse. So that Knight isn't moving yet. that knight isn't moving yet. So there may have been delay in finding out information about whatever career information this is, or whether it's to do with finances or a relationship, or whether it's to do with both. I do feel like there's a delay in this energy. So you might have to wait a little longer before you hear information or messages or new news about those things, okay? So again, you might want to rush through, you might be wanting this energy to kind of move forward quicker, but this is telling you that you're going to have to wait a little longer for that, okay? Yeah. Or, this could also to be, when I speak of that kind of relationship or that potential relationship that could be coming through, this may be you wanting to deliver a message, or, and rushing to deliver a message to someone. And that person then kind of, when you deliver the message, that person then kind of, not having the same energy as you and rushing forward to kind of answer that message. It could be that they take their time to listen to the message, and they make you wait almost before you get an answer, because this knight isn't moving. You're just going to have to wait a little bit longer for that to turn around. Okay. The next card you had out then was the King of Swords, but it came out in reverse. So again, the King of Swords usually in the upright is a man of sitting on his throne. He's a born leader. He's he is like a manager. He is like a father figure, or a man who knows his worth. He knows he knows himself. So he's very grounded, very logical, very thought orientated. You can see it's swords here as well, so it's to do with logic and thought. So he knows himself very well. He is very grounded, and he's a born leader. He knows that he is good at what he does, and he moves forward with clarity. He does things with clarity. It takes a lot of time to think about things before he actually does them. Now, this is in the reverse, so I feel like this is your energy. I feel like this is definitely you. So usually you feel like that, usually you feel like you are that kind of like very grounded, very kind of like logical. You're an Aquarius. Aquariuses are all about thought and logic, and putting the world to right in their head. It's all to do with like that overanalyzation that Aquariuses love to do. But yeah, I do feel like this is in the reverse. So I do feel like you may have been feeling a little confused recently. You may have felt like, kind of your world's a little bit kind of like unstable. You may have been feeling a little bit unstable recently. I also in the pre-meditation that I was doing before I kind of came on camera, I did get that kind of moving out of that darker period. So I do feel like you may have been going through a darker period recently. And you're kind of, but like I said, you're kind of coming out of that now. So, he is in the reverse. So I do feel like you may have been a little bit confused, a little bit unstable, a little bit kind of caught up in your own head, not feeling like you can put this logic into play, just feeling confused generally. So yeah, like I said, Mercury retrograde is still kind of in play at the moment. That energy will linger. So that might be playing havoc with you a little bit at the moment. But not to worry, because we have the Six of Swords as your next card. So where there was that confusion and that kind of unease, or that kind of feeling unstable, or feeling like you're going through a dark period or a darker patch, there is this new movement forward. So the Six of Swords is all about getting in your boat to sail to calmer waters. So leaving all this shit behind, basically, is leaving all that kind of inner anguish, that kind of inner turmoil, that kind of like overanalyzation of your thoughts, or this kind of like this waiting around, or feeling like you can't move. We're leaving all that behind, getting in your boat and moving to calmer waters. There is also a lot of water in this card, okay? And this is the first card in your spread that has had water in it. So I do feel like this is to do with the change from Pisces season to Aries season. So from the 20th of March onwards, so just before April, and kind of coming into the first couple of weeks of April, I feel like there's movements from that kind of that wishy-washy kind of emotional kind of state into moving into calmer waters, and kind of feeling a little bit more stabilized. So also, you know, like I said, there is water in this card, so you could be dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. So just bear that in mind. If you know, if any of these messages here that you, or this information or these messages that you've wanted to kind of get to someone or deliver to someone, this could be to do with someone that you're dealing with that is a water sign. Like I said, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. It doesn't have to be, but it's there, so I just thought I'd mention it. It could be. And then you have, as your last card, you have the Ten of Cups in reverse. So, like I said, it's in the reverse. So for me, I feel like you're gonna have to wait for this. It's not here yet. I do feel like you are coming to get this. This is going to be for you. So Ten of Cups is the completion of a cycle. It's like you've worked the whole way through. You've put the work in. You've put the effort in, and now that effort is paying off. So Cups is to do with love. It's to do with passions, creative endeavors, something that you're passionate about. It can also to do with love and relationships. Fans. You may have fans. Who knows? Maybe you have fans. I don't know. It can be to do with friends, family, or a partnership, a relationship, or someone that you are in connection with that you hold close to you. So I do feel like whatever it is that you've been wanting to manifest, you are going to get that, and that abundance is going to be here for you. I just feel like you are going to have to wait for it that little bit longer. Like I said, Mercury retrograde is still playing havoc with the energies a little bit. So there could be that. There is just a delay in this coming forward. So I also feel like could be to do with like that divine timing. You had in the reverse under your underlying energies was this happy home environment, this happy ever after card. You know, with this correct life path here, it was in the reverse. So again, the abundance and the happy ever after is in reverse at the moment. So it is there for you for the taking, but I feel like it's almost like you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for this because you're rushing in. You're rushing. You don't want to rush it, okay? If you rush things and you try and push things, this is going to stay in the reverse and you're not going to get that, okay? If you go with divine timing, yeah, if you slow down and you just go at the right pace, then this will start to turn around for you, and you will get that. You will get that happy ever after and that abundance, okay? But if you try to force it, it's not going to come into play for you. So make that move towards calmer shores. But take it slow, take it easy. Don't rush it, you know. I definitely feel as well that this has got to do with, this card has got to do, this whole reading, for me, it seems like it's to do with either a career or a career move that you've been trying to make, or a job, or something to do with a job situation or a job environment. And it's also got to do with a love situation or a relationship of some kind, whether that be to do with a friend, a family member, or a partner, or a potential partner, because there is knights here on the table. I do feel like, yeah, it's to do with either career or a love situation, or like I said, both at the same time. You have two knights here, so it could be, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is having to wait for that kind of job satisfaction or that kind of information on a career or a job move or an interview, and then you've got, you know, the Knight of Swords rushing in with information, thoughts and thoughts about clarity that you've had, and I feel like that's got to do with a relationship. So there's career and there's a relationship on the table here, and moving to calmer waters. So yeah, I definitely feel like this has got to do with a relationship almost. So I feel like it's got to do with both. So the relationship that maybe you didn't realize you wanted, or didn't feel like you wanted, or didn't feel like you needed in your life, and then also it's like you're chasing, like you can see, look, this guy is rushing in. He wants to rush into that kind of happy ever after and that 10 of Cups. Okay, so I feel like that is what that is saying, you know, like you realize that you want this, and then you try and rush on ahead to try and get it. That's to do with the relationship. To do with the work situation, I do feel like, you know, in the reverse, you can see this horse, and this guy is actually looking towards that future energy of that happy ever after, and that 10 of cups, that abundance. In the upright, he's actually looking in the wrong direction. So I feel like the fact that this is in the reverse, this is to do with the career. That pentacle is to do with the career or the job. I feel like having to wait that extra little time for this message or this information to come into you actually works in your favor, because then you get the happy ever after and the 10 of cups, because they would both turn round once this guy turns into the upright. Then you get those two things. So yeah, so definitely it's to do with a work situation and a career. Work or career situation, and to do with a relationship, definitely. Now, in saying that, it could be a relationship to do with yourself, and this could be, you know, your internal kind of thoughts and how you view yourself and how you love yourself, or it could be, like I said, someone else. It could be a partner, a potential partner. It could be a family member or a friend. Any of those things. Okay, so let's have a little look. I'm going to take some oracle cards for you now, finish up the reading. I'm just going to have a look though to see if I want to clarify any of these first. Do you know what? I'm going to clarify the knights. That's the best thing to do. Okay, let's have a look. I feel like there's a lot of information that needs to come through here with these knights, so I think your reading is going to be a little bit longer than maybe the rest of the guys is, but hey ho. Okay, Spirit, so please, why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius, please? Why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius? Why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius, please? Why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius? Why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius? Why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius, please? Why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius? Why is the Knight of Swords here for Aquarius? Are you being quiet now? It's typical. As soon as you say, oh, I'm going to clarify that message that you want to communicate, Aquarius just goes, nope, zip it. I'm not telling you, because you're stubborn. Sorry. I love you guys, but you are very much all up in your own head, Aquariuses. As much as I love you guys, you know you are. You're all about that kind of overanalyzation, and then as soon as you want to communicate something with someone, you clam up and you don't want to say it. Anyway, okay, why is this Knight of Swords here for Aquarius? Why is this Knight of Swords here for Aquarius, please? Why is this Knight of Swords here for Aquarius? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you had one card flip out, and then you had another card that was poking out of the deck, and it was actually kind of facing me, so I just thought I needed to take it. Okay, so to clarify the Knight of Swords, that rushing in with a message card, you got the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is all to do with, you can see here, I don't know if it's going to focus, you can see here she's got, the heart is pierced by 3 swords. So there may have been a situation in your recent past, Aquarius, whereby your heart was broken. Or you broke someone else's heart, or 2 people were hurt. It could be 3. So there could have been a third party situation here. You could have been dealing with someone who has had 2 people on the go, or you may have had 2 people on the go. Or it could just be to do with the situation of heartbreak. So either both your hearts were broken or someone broke the other's heart. So there's heartbreak here for you. So I do feel like that message that you are wanting to communicate, whatever realization or sudden realization that you come to, or that kind of like penny drop moment comes to you, and you feel like you want to rush forward with this message. I feel like it's got to do with love, and that's what I was saying to you earlier anyway, before this card came out. I felt like this is to do with love. This is a message of love, someone wanting to communicate a message of love, to do with this heartbreak that happened, whoever it was, whether it was you or someone else, or both of you whose heart was breaking. However, then the next card out then is the Star. The Star is a beautiful card. You can see she's balancing water between 2 cups there, and you've got the Star at the top. There's a lot of water in there as well, so I would say that you could be, well, first of all, this card is the card of Aquarius, the water bearer. So yeah, you can see that she's balancing the water between 2 cups. So it's the card of Aquarius, the water bearer, but also there is water in it too. So I do feel like you could be dealing with a Pisces, because there is water, well, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, a water sign of some sort. But there's a lot of a lot of water in that. You can also see as well though, I don't know if you can see, there's that little bird is like swooping down with that heart. So I do feel like this is definitely connected to this heart here, because it's almost kind of coming down from this. So whatever this message was, it's definitely to do with the heartbreak that you had. The star card, however, is your card. So definitely to do with yourself. I feel like this clarifies this being you. So you wanting to move forward with a message of love. For someone that was brokenhearted, or someone that broke your heart, or someone whose heart you broke. The star card is all to do with wish fulfillment. Or peace and resolution, harmony coming into play, that balance of water, the balance of water is emotions, so the balance of emotions, and the wish fulfillment card. So definitely some sort of message to do with a heartbroken situation and resolution, peace or harmony, or possibly a new start in love kind of coming towards you as well. That's going to be balanced and it's going to be harmonious. So if you're worried about whatever message this is that you want to deliver and you feel like it's not going to be reciprocated, that star card is saying that it will. And definitely, with this cups and this life path, that happily ever after, those two cards, definitely I feel like this offer will be reciprocated, or they feel the same, but it's just that you need to come in with that message if that is resonating with you. So that clarifies that Knight, and I'm just going to do the Knight of Pentacles in reverse as well. So okay, why is the Knight of Pentacles here for Aquarius, please? Why is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse for Aquarius? Why is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse for Aquarius, please? Why is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse? Why is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse here, please? Why is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse? Why is the Knight of Pentacles here in reverse? Okay, let's have a little look. What you get? Yeah. Okay, so you got the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords, I feel, is to do with having battled through things. So, like I said, I felt this Knight was to do with career, either career, job, or a work situation, not coming to full fruition just yet, and having to wait to hear information or news about this situation. This, I feel, has got to do with burdens or heavy things that have been conflicts, or heavily burdened situations to do with that work environment that you've been having to battle through, having to work through and really kind of hard graft and kind of just trudge through it, and kind of push forward, put the daily grind in, daily grind, la 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 la, on and on and on and on and on. You're going to have to wait that little bit longer. Okay, you're going to have to push through and do that daily grind and battle those things a little bit longer. But I will say this. He has 4 swords, and whatever it is that he's battling has 3. So he's starting to push forward in those burdens. Those burdens are starting to lessen, okay? That daily grind is getting less harder to do, okay? And that movement forward and that news that you're waiting for is going to start coming through, but it's just not yet. You're still having to put that little bit of extra work in, okay? So it's on its way. Don't stress. Don't be worrying that it's not coming in. It is coming in for you. You're just going to have to put that little bit of extra time in, wait that little bit longer, battle those day-to-day things a little bit longer, and those things then are going to come into play. Like I said, you've got these things. These were both in reverse, but if you wait and you do that, you wait that extra little bit longer, that